As paramount as health issues are, financing this sector is also a very important aspect the community and government needs to look at. A multi-sectoral forum on epidemic preparedness and response financing in Nigeria was held in Abuja on the 25th of February 2021 and is aimed at deepening the knowledge of key stakeholders, the community on National Action Plan on health security issues in Nigeria, and also to enhance accountability for health security financing in Nigeria. With the presence of panelists such as the Honorable Commissioner of Health, Kano State, Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Sanyawa, as well as the Deputy Director Special Duties, NCDC, health security have been given less attention to, and there is need for raising the accountability bar for health security financing in Nigeria.
In the 8th National Assembly, it wasn't really easy for us to increase our national budget in the health sector. Why? Because of competing demands as well as shortage of investment, money coming into the government. But nevertheless, we were able to do the best that we could. But it wasn't really enough. As it is today, it's still not enough. I must say that we must all sustain strong advocacy to the National Assembly as well as to the state governments, both their legislature and their executive governor, through raising the budgetary allocation to health. I'm happy with what the Commissioner in Kano reported, because one can really say that it's only about 3 states today that have been able to meet the 2001 Abuja recommendation in terms of meeting the 15% budgetary allocation to health. At the federal level, it has really been hovering between 4 to 5%. And I think in recent time, it was only once that the government budgeted gave the health sector 6%. This year is still between 4-point-something%, which is not really enough. So, strong advocacy is needed, and I know currently, through the amendment, the review, which is on the 2 houses, both Senate and House of Reps, to review the National Health Act 2014. There is this deliberate attempt to increase the amount of money for the basic healthcare provision fund to be from 1 to 2%. Now, if the National Assembly is able, to achieve that, then it will be a big plus on the money coming into the health sector. But even then, considering the situation that we are in Nigeria today, it's not going to be easy. We must sustain advocacy.
This includes not just the public sector but also the private sector on getting fortified enough on epidemic preparedness and response.
The non-governmental organizations, the partners, to ensure that sufficient money is made available. But then again, as we always say, there must be justification for increase. When you increase fund, the money must also be judiciously used.
The Kano State was said to have stepped up on its game in terms of health security, and this was achieved through several recommendations by the stakeholders and the NCDC. Recommendations were made or emulate Kano State statistics to achieve sustainable finance in the health sector.
The government is prioritizing health. The government is attaching a lot of interest a lot of commitment to health. And not only budgeting for health in general, but specifically, government has created a budget line this year for epidemic preparedness and response that 300 million is budgeted for EPR this year. And not only that, also some funds are budgeted to improve on our public health laboratory in the state. And another important funding from the government is from Kano Health Trust Fund, which I believe most of us are aware. It is a fund established by Kano State government where 5% of the internal generated revenue of the government is credited in this account monthly. And 1% of local government statutory allocation monthly goes into this fund. And the sharing formula is simple. 50%, all the funds that are accrued in this fund primarily is used and is utilized in health, to improve health. And 50% of this fund goes into improvement in service. Primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, where part of this services fund is also utilized to improve on emergency preparedness and response.
During the forum, award of excellence was given to persons who had contributed their quota in the epidemic preparedness and response in the health sector.
I'm excited. In fact, words are not enough to express my happiness today for receiving this award. I'm very grateful to Lisdale for this award. Well, in terms of epidemic response and financing in Kano State in particular, where I'm coming from, on my capacity as the Director of Public Health and Disease Control, we make sure that we forecast and make ready estimates for government in terms of budgetary allocation, what we need to have on ground, all the resources. In fact, we are the eye of the government as far as that kind of analysis is concerned, and it's through this analysis that government comes to know about the need and requirement, at least for the year, to be able to provide adequate budgetary allocation so that we can finance all the forecasted epidemics that may come up in that year.
Coming here precisely on the invitation of the organizers, Lisdale, to participate in this important one-day dialogue on health security financing, which is what we are really witnessing, today. Today, we all know the pandemic has made each and every one of us aware of the fact that there is nothing today as important as health, because no matter how wealthy you are, no matter how well placed you are, without proper health, you will be nowhere. We have seen how many number of people you see dying was influential, and those from the low class. So we must really prioritize health, and that's why this dialogue is ongoing.
Called Prevent Epidemics Project, which is being implemented by Legislative Initiative for Sustainable Development with funding from Global Health Advocacy Incubators. And the essence of the project is to ensure that we mobilize more domestic resources to support health security related initiative, and to ensure that government at national, state and local government level are more responsive to the issue of health security and epidemic preparedness and response. So the government is spending more money, but not only spend more money, but to ensure that the money is actually delivering the result, ensuring there's efficiency, ensuring that there is increased accountability for it. And it's part of the activity we're having today to bring stakeholders together to deliberate on how do we raise accountability bar for health security financing in Nigeria.
We need to engage people at their own level to be able to really understand the subject in place. For us to be able to engage people, we need to share with them what is imposition, the threat, the consequences, the benefits. That will go a very long way in letting people cue into whatever issue is being brought before them. The basic thing is for people to be able to understand what is in place, the importance of what is in place, and the benefits of them complying to whatever the government introduced as far as health security and healthcare services is concerned. So when they are really being carried along, when they know the issue, when they understand it, they can be able to now participate and really agree with whatever resolution is being agreed upon. So for us to engage people, we need to go down to their level and let them understand whatever subject matter is in place for us to be able to benefit. Because government alone cannot do it. People have to understand, people have to participate, people have to also accept for us to be able to achieve.